A busy man is seldom visited by idle friends. One day in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. The most important part of your life is to understand yourself from the inside. The more perfect the person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. The only person with whom you have to compare yourselves is you in the past, and the only person better you should be is who you are now. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. The first indication of stupidity is a complete lack of shame. Before you diagnose yourself with depression or low self-esteem, first make sure that you are not, in fact, just surrounded by assholes. From error to error, one discovers the entire truth. When one does not have what one wants, one must want what one has. Thought is action in rehearsal. Friendship is an art of keeping distance, while love is an art of intimacy. Most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. The best is always the enemy of the good. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. A husband is almost always only a substitute for the beloved man, and not this man himself. Limitation in the possibility of enjoyment raises the value of the enjoyment. Happiness is a child's dream fulfilled in maturity. Every normal person is really only partly normal. A woman should soften, but not weaken a man. All family life is organized around the most damaged person in it. Words have a magical power. They can bring either the greatest happiness or the deepest despair. A father's death is the most important event, the most heartbreaking and poignant loss in a man's life. People in general are insincere in the sexual matters. They do not openly display their sexuality, but rather hide it by putting on a tight coat called lie, as if it were bad weather in the world of sexual relations. We are never so defenseless as when we love, and never so helplessly unhappy as when we lose the object of love or his love. Out of your vulnerabilities will come your strength. At a woman's breast, love and hunger are crossed. Envy is destructive. Don't be tempted by it. Religion is the universal obsessional neurosis of humanity. Recognizing a problem is half of the success in solving it. How bold one gets when one is sure of being loved. The voice of the intellect is quiet, but it never tires of repeating when listeners are found. Only the complete absence of sex can be considered a sexual deviation. Everything else is a matter of taste. In the small matters, trust the mind. In the large ones, trust the heart. A man is sometimes more generous when he has little money than when he has much, perhaps to keep from thinking he has none at all. We seek more to take suffering away from ourselves than to gain pleasure. People are more moral than they think, and far more immoral than they can imagine. We do not randomly choose each other. We meet only those who already exist in our subconscious. The secret of the human soul lies in the psychic dramas of childhood. Get to the bottom of these dramas, and healing will come. A joke makes it possible to satisfy a lustful or hostile instinct despite an obstacle in its path. The first human who hurled an insult instead of a stone was the founder of civilization. The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. You do not stop looking for strength and confidence outside, but you should look inside yourself. They have always been there. The energetic and successful man is the one who succeeds in transforming the fantasies of desire into reality. A man should not strive to eliminate his complexes, but to get into accord with them. They are legitimately what directs his conduct in the world. We enter the world with loneliness, and lonely leave it. All adaptation is partial death, the disappearance of a particle of individuality. Perfect eternal hate and purified love exists only between the addict and the drug. Without love, we fall ill. All people are born bisexual and later choose their sexual orientation depending on their life circumstances. Maturity is the ability to postpone gratification. There is no need in childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. History is just new people making old mistakes. He who lacks sex speaks about sex. Hungry, talk about food. A person who has no money, about money, and our oligarchs and bankers talk about morality. The only shame in masturbation is the shame of not doing it well. A woman will never want sex with a man who doesn't get her hints. Avoid women who talk a lot about sex, because often they have gotten a psychological breakdown from the lack of it.